I'll watch the last Epoch video.
Hi, Zizaran here with another video, and this is going to be a review of my first impression of the release of last Epoch. I have been playing for, I think, 20 to 30 hours somewhere now since launch.
That's a bit.
And it's been one of the launches of all time. I'll start with addressing the servers.
You see, like, I wake up at night, I log on at 1 a.m., there ain't shit for problems, man. There's nothing.
People were asking me before the launch started how I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
And I thought the first day was going to be a disaster. Obviously, I hoped that it wouldn't. I was hoping they would have a smooth launch.
Yeah, but it was going to be, because we know that.
From very small since 2018.
Oh, wow.
Until what it is today, which is a very beautiful game.
Oh, I think I'm right about to do this part.
I got a good shot. So I was expecting one day to be a disaster and that it would be mostly fixed on day 2. Day 3, and it's starting to become playable, but it definitely went worse than I expected.
Yeah.
I've been pretty consistent on being pretty mild on server issues on both Wilson, Diablo, and most games in general, which is shit. Because
I don't really care about server issues that much because they usually improve, and if it's a good game, I'll plan to play it for years on end. So as long as the game's fun, I'll deal with it.
When you do buy a product,
it's frustrating though.
The reason I'm a little bit milder on that and harsher on like game
bugs I turned it up.
No game seemed to get their first initial launch right, so it must be a difficult thing. I don't know much about it, but yeah, that aside, it is unacceptable that it is as bad as it is. I mean, that's all I can say about that, really. It sucks. But that aside, I want the rest of the review just to be about the game itself.
True.
I mean, if I go to
that's what I want to hear about.
Steam, and we look at the store
380.
page, recent reviews is mixed, 62%. I actually saw a very fair comment about it on Reddit. They deserve mostly positive reviews because their game is amazing, and they deserve mostly negative reviews because their servers are unplayable right now. Like the game, well, not the servers. They're
and
fine,
Steam has reviews segmented from overall and reviews in the last 2 weeks or like recent reviews. So Steam actually has it built into their system to offset people that are review bombing and getting mad. That's good. Yeah, Steam is just the best.
I
bought a Steam Deck, by the way.
Moving between servers doesn't work right now, so a lot of online things is a disaster. So mixed seems fair, and you know what? It's hard to disagree with that. It does hurt my heart a little bit to see this launch get marred by the server issues. But
yeah, it's sad.
It's hard to say it's not deserved with how rough it's been. But,
I mean, everybody's going to be disappointed whenever they can't play the game. Like, we can sit around and talk about how bad it is that the launch was bad. I don't really care that much about that, but, you know, I can see why people would be disappointed, of course.
I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience so far. So I finished the campaign. The campaign was pretty rough to get through because of the loading screens, but somebody in chat early on told me that when I was like level 35 or something, they were like, Zizaran, if you go to the monolith system super early on, that's Last Epoch's endgame system, there's no server issues because you stay on the same server. I managed to get at level 35 into the monoliths, and I stayed there until, well, 72, I think.
Oh, wow.
And then the servers were good enough that I was able to finish the campaign. And the campaign has changed so much, like, has become so beautiful. Honestly, the timelines are still a little bit confusing to me. Where the hell do we start? Imperial era, maybe? I don't even know.
I think that what they need to do is they need to make it to where whenever you change to different eras, it automatically recenters your map on the yellow objective whenever you're doing the campaign, because it's very confusing for a lot of people. Actually, I don't know if it's very confusing for a lot of people. I think it's very confusing for me. I originally didn't understand that it was such a large-scale map.
I have no idea. The first 2 areas, etc., so beautiful. They've done such a good job with the graphic overhaul of the game, and I always really enjoyed comparing Wilson and Last Epoch early because Wilson was so pretty. It was so beautiful early on, but they seem to have focused everything on the beauty of the game.
I never thought Wilson looked that great. I mean, I always thought PoE and Wilson looked about the same.
Whereas Last Epoch had focused everything on gameplay. and made the game really fun early on and had really cool core systems, and then eventually made the game beautiful. And now it is what we see today. Now it's arguably better looking than Path of Exile and on par with Diablo 4.
I would disagree with that. I think that Path of Exile, if you look at the graphical fidelity of, for example, the Maiden fight or Searing Exarch, I think PoE blows this out of the water. But this is also, like, this is as good as PoE was in, like, 2018 or 2017. It's, like, very close to PoE.
Like, it is really, really nice now. So that's quite good. I think they made a good choice there. And yeah, I've had a blast playing so far. I started off playing a Primalist, which I always call Druid. I feel like the base class should be called Druid.
Yeah.
But so I even called my character Druid. And I'm playing a Wolf Summon build, which is super strong. People are pointing out that my unique got nerfed, but it also got buffed in a few other ways. Like there's new stats on weapons now. And yeah, I've just been having a blast on that. The game has a really good impact. That's very important to me. In the last
it does feel good to kill shit in the game. Very true.
Days, a lot of people have been asking me about like ARPG tier lists and stuff, and how I've been looking at other games like Diablo 4, Path of Exile, Grim Dawn. And a lot of people are surprised that I put Grim Dawn very low rated on my list. And I actually do think it's a wonderful game. It is a very good game. However, the reason it's on the bottom of my list is impact in Last Epoch is quite good. There's a lot of skills like Fury Leap especially, but like a lot of skills that you like, you feel powerful while using them. They sound good. There's that crunchy, nice feeling, like, you know, Herald of Ice in Path of Exile or Occultist Explosion in Path of Exile.
Yeah.
It's got that nice impact, the oomph factor. And Grim Dawn doesn't have that for me. So Last Epoch scores some points there. Honestly, the game is more challenging now. They have made it a lot harder. I did have quite a lot of close calls, and I ended up dying in the Ending the Storm. I had my end in the end. I logged off and logged on. And yeah, like the servers were a bit iffy. I should have just portaled out. Because apparently that's instant. But I was so worried about the portal loading that I tried logging out instead and ended up dying.
Ooh.
So rookie mistake, but we learn and we improve and we get better. I love the item system.
I'm just looking at some of his gear. 59% minion damage. Holy shit.
I want Path of Exile to be the same, and I don't want every RPG to be the same. I love seeing like differences in ARPGs, but I truly feel like the item system in this game is something special. If you don't know how it works, you can see here that I have like forging potential. So once I had more hybrid health, I could now forcibly upgrade that.
Yeah.
And just force this item to have more health on it until my forging potential runs out, and you lose X amount per craft with a chance of losing 0. The game doesn't have any Valorb right now. That's its weak point, in my opinion. I think Valorbs, like being able to corrupt an item for a chance of destroying it, but a big upgrade is one of...
He's right about that. Valorbs are that end-game currency that provides like a really long-term chase for super hardcore players that can be super OP. Because like some Vol upgrades, it's like +2 to skills and shit. Like, can't chest roll like a 50% damage too? Like, it's nuts.
The coolest things ever. So I wish the game had that, but other than that, it really does a great way of balancing crafting and finding items, both being exciting. There's like a very good hybrid of both. You're never going to find a perfect item, but you're never going to start from scratch either. You'll find an item that's like halfway off the puzzle.
That's a pretty good pair of boots, man.
There.
Holy shit.
And the legendary potential system is so cool as well. If you don't know how that works,
I don't. I have no idea.
Basically, a unique item can drop with legendary potential of 0 to 4. And if it has 4, you can smash an entire exalted item such as this into the unique item. So if I had unique gloves with 4 legendary potential and I use these with it, I would have all these stats in addition to the
legendary effect.
With 1, it would choose 1 stat at random.
Oh my god.
I might get the minion damage or the endurance threshold, for example. So it's such a cool item system. It has a really good chase, and it's a wonderful game. They've done a lot of changes. They've added a lot more stats. Skills have been changed and buffed and nerfed.
Damn.
And obviously the Falconer and the Warlock are very strong right now. That's why I've not been playing them as my starter. I do want to play them pretty soon, but I figured I would avoid the most flavor of the month early on and try some different things. And I love Primalist. Like minions are so cool. And like simple quality of life things like the A key that you have full control over your minions just by hitting A.
You telling me that they couldn't figure this shit out with Diablo? Like they figured what? You telling me you can just make the minions go do where you want? What the fuck?
Is so cool, and I absolutely love it. Telling them what to attack or where to move. I think it's a decent enough amount of skills. You're not just relying on one in every build. Some builds uses 2 or 3, and you know, a lot of things end up being utility and movement. The mana system's pretty interesting with the way that it like goes negative in mana. I don't know if I actually can go negative mana on this build. If you have 1 mana and you cast something that costs 50, you have minus 49. The most lacking point of Last Epoch right now probably is the endgame system. If you don't know how it is, I have done another review as well before launch, and you have the monolith system where it's very similar to maps and synthesis from Path of Exile, where you go into sub areas and they're different, and you can target farm rewards. So if I click here, I get smaller islands. So like these will drop rings, this will drop arena key. Like you'll be able to target farm and try to chase what you want. And different timelines favor different things. Like the Black Sun timeline favors helmets, for example. And there's different...
I can't believe that they have like so many common sense, smart things to do like this. But like, why is it that... I mean, I guess like it just makes me mad because I see all of these obvious solutions to things. And it's like, where the fuck is this in Diablo 4? How is this possible? It's crazy. Monoliths get old as fast as Nightmare Dungeons, so everything gets old. Yeah, maps and PoE get old, in my opinion.
blessings you can grind out, and they get better in the end game. Because once you finish these 3 islands here, all of the timelines unlock at level 100. So then you can, like, oh, I really need the unique drops from this timeline, or I need more helmets from this timeline, etc. So they have a very good target farmable endgame, and I really like that. I think they've done a great job with it. And they do have a few bosses. Like, obviously, there's a boss in every single timeline, and they're like okay bosses. They're like fairly challenging at level 100.
You've got to keep in mind that like PoE didn't come out with Shaper. Like Shaper didn't come out for like quite a while, and like Atziri didn't come out on release either. Like the Pact of the Vol. Like, I don't know if it was the first patch, but it might have been the second one. It took a while for PoE to get up to that level.
With higher corruption, which
2016
is like an
Shaper
scaling thing.
It's a while.
I don't think I have any corruption here right now because I
Act
died.
3 was in-game. Dominus runs. Yep, there it is.
Like a thing that scales the damage and life of monsters. And then you have like really hard things like a tier 4 Jolra that is the closest thing to Ubers right now in the game. Obviously, it's nothing compared to Path of Exile Uber, so the game does need more endgame content. I'd say right now you probably easily get around 200 hours worth of content for your $35.
200 hours.
It is very worth it. Would love to see people in the comments saying what they love or what they don't like about the game and what they think they should improve. I would say it is the second best ARPG on the market right now, number 1 being Path of Exile.
Wow.
I hope you guys enjoy the review. Thank you so much for watching.
Holy shit.
And if you buy the game through me, I appreciate it. And more importantly,
wait, he got a referral code? Why didn't I get one? What the fuck? Why didn't I get one? Oh, what? Wait, what? Where'd my referral code? Wait, what? Shit. Duh. It's fine. At least the game's good.